world, my name's Elizabeth, I'm a marine biologist and I got to perform at the Royal Institution in London. This is an immensely famous lecture theatre. It's the lecture theatres where, if you've ever seen the Christmas science lectures, they're held there. Literal elements like sodium, which is the stuff that's in salt, was announced in that room. And today I will be showing you the science demo that I performed there and made. And we've got a whole series where I've made the theatre, I've made the props, I've made the sets, I've made the puppets. And now it is time to show you the final story and to walk you through what was a somewhat chaotic attempt at doing the demo. I am now on the committee for this conference, so I feel like I'm a good person to talk about it. BIG is a network of science communicators, and it's a really fun network that has a conference every year. And the conference is unlike a normal conference. Normally you go into a room and you sit and you just listen to lecture upon talk upon talk, have a bit of networking. This very much feels like a conference blended with a fun science fair scenario. There's all these amazing sort of interactive talks and workshops. It's all people that share about science and technology and engineering and maths and arts, all coming together to share top tips on how to do that, how to engage with public, how to make talks more interesting. So you can imagine that the actual calibre of all the talks there, it's just so fun to go to. And as part of this, every year they run what is called a big demo competition, because the conference is called Big and they want to show awesome big demos. This demonstration is just an engaging way, a new fun way to share about science that rather than me come up to you and talking to you about crabs, I have made a theatre with the sets and the props and the crab to show you about it, in hopes that you remember it more and that you learn more and that you go away and then you're more excited about that versus than if I just did like a talk. So last year, let's just say that there was a giant starfish that rocked up at the competition. I don't know if you've watched the video that's on my YouTube channel, but I cannot confirm nor deny that that was me. There just happened to be a life-size human starfish that rocked up and entered the demo competition. And I just happened to miss it. What a shame. Now, it is a competition. You win a trophy. There's everyone knows that you've won the big demo competition. You are performing to people that you have just admired for years and you massively respect. And it's a whole load of amazing people that make amazing demos, and it's just so rewarding to be part of that group. And for me, yes, it is a competition, but for me it is, I get 3 minutes on stage if I get selected to be in the competition, because sometimes you have to get shortlisted down. It is 3 minutes on stage to make and produce something that I've always wanted to do. It's something that I don't have to pitch to funders, or I don't have to pitch to all these other things. I can just go and do exactly whatever my heart desires, and I also then can get feedback and hear from this incredibly amazing amount of skilled people. So I want to do something that I am a little nervous to do, something that pushes the boundaries of my sort of skill learning. I want something that I know is going to be a reach, a push, something fun, so that I can just learn the most from that experience. And whether I win or not is completely sort of out of the thing. In fact, I often am hoping that if I don't win, then I get to come back the next year. I think you can come back the next year anyway. But if I don't win, then I get to come back and just do another equally bizarre thing in the following year. So just to put that aside, if anyone is worrying going into this, I am not bothered whatsoever about the actual winning of the competition. Obviously, it's great to win, and it's amazing to see anyone that sort of wins. It's so deserving. But personally, I just love the experience so much that the winning is just the teeny weeny bit on top of all of the joy. The conference being at the RI in London, which is really cool. There's lots of cool clips which I'll insert here. It's this beautiful old building with this awesome lecture theatre in, which is a really, really, well, I say cool space. It was absolutely roasting. it was so roasting. It was. I will pre-explain some of the chaos that went on. I'm then going to not leave it too long so that you can go and watch the recorded demo, and then I will come back and I'm going to break down the demo, which is like really, really nerve-wracking to do in front of you all on camera, because like I watch my stuff back. I like things recorded because I learn so much immediately from performing them, but actually breaking down your own performance to people on the internet is like, I'm just not going to think about it, and we're gonna run through it. So the first bit of chaos. So I want to give this as a preface, and I feel like I've like debated sharing about all this just because it comes across as an excuse. And I don't think it's an excuse. I think it is a reality for anyone performing or doing things. And I think it is like good to show that like stuff that goes on during the week and all the stuff behind the scenes does in some way, depending on how much of it goes in and feeds into that performance. And a lot of the time, like 90, like I love the fact that once you step on stage, none of that matters. It all goes out the window and you just get to focus on the performance. However, in this case, I might have bitten off more than I can chew, and I think that I can see it in the performance. And so I sort of just want to explain some context of like all the stuff going on. So not only was this a big ask, this took so much time, like behind the scenes, preparing for this. I was preparing for like weeks and weeks to do this. But I put in stuff for the conference. I put in 4 sessions, and thinking that I was like, I really just want at least one selected. You do get like a discounted rate. I'm going as a freelancer, like a discounted rate. If you get one session in, it would be great to get that one in. But also I had these like 4 really cool ideas that I really wanted to pitch. And I was like, oh, I don't know which one out of these you would like. Like, I'll just pitch all of them. Learned my mistake from that potentially is that all 4 got accepted, which is like amazing, but no small amount of work. Running an hour-long session, is just really tough. I was the sort of lead. I ended up being the lead on 3 of them. I was involved with one, slightly stepped away. Massive thanks to Sam Langford, who has been on this channel before, or I've been on their channel for Science and Sorcery, also involved in the big running. Did slightly take one of them off my plate because I was like, this is a lot, but was still involved in the panel session. So I had all of these different ones, and the best thing about all these panels is I got to collab with so many people. I get to collab with all of these amazing people, like during the panels, but it just added so much logistics behind the scenes. And so I've had this really busy week, and where it's in London, and it's a heat wave, and the RI's air conditioning broke, and it was roasting. So they got like other air conditioning in, but I cannot tell you like how hot it was, and I kept like clocking eyes with everyone else that was like specifically down from Scotland and being like, this is like melting heat, because we was not used to it. And then it fell on the day of the demo competition. I had 2 sessions that I was running. I had no lunch break because the AGM, which I'm now on the committee for, I got voted in, very excited. I wanted to, part of the committee, help shape the conference. That was at the lunchtime of that. And then the big demo competition was like after that. And so I was just like, it was just a lot. So I feel like I didn't have a lot of time to really like mentally get in the zone. Last bit, there were a few technical things that happened before. One of them was that just because of the way the demo competition works, it's really quick. There's a quick pacing around. I got it filmed, which was really amazing. But I had planned for the performance to sort of go through my camera, and I'd sort of planned it that way, and knew roughly how to work it out with that. That ended up not being possible, which is absolutely fine. And there was amazing camera crew there, and I got this amazing footage that you're just about to see in a second. But in that sense, like a lot of the time that I had to prepare was just making sure that, because I needed it filmed, that I was then swapping from my own camera and just making sure that the tech was working with the RI tech team, which is like super important priority. And then about 30 seconds before, the crab puppet broke. Before that, the crab arm fell off, and like the RI people are I cannot stress enough, and I'm not going to go into the RI stuff in too much detail because you'll see why for the next episode, next video. But the RI stuff was amazing. Like, to be behind the scenes of this place that is like world famous for science demos, and how incredibly supportive and wonderful they are at making sure everything goes well. I cannot like recommend them, like so cool. And like when the crab leg fell off, I think this is quite funny, like the crab claw fell off. I was like, no, they have super glue. That's probably like that's probably the easiest fix for them. They're like, yeah, we have super glue, that's fine. Look at all these cupboards full of all these amazing things that they could probably fix any science demo with any sort of like weird glass contraption or chemical that they can have in storage that they know how to use because they've got a fully trained team to do like chemical science demos. It's like such a cool place. So a bit of super glue was fine. So I'd spent all my time sort of sorting that out with the rest of the session. And it just meant that when I do the performance, you'll see that some stuff didn't go like completely to plan, and that's fine. And I know why. I know that those things might not have gone to plan if I had a bit more time to prepare, but it happens. So I'm just going to stop talking. I feel like maybe I'm doing the thing where I start to like set myself up for like you to think it's worse than it is, just so that I feel a bit better when you watch it. I could be doing that. I'm human, okay? I know this is my job, but that's how everyone sort of feels about the performance. So let's go watch it. Let's go see the story. Finally, after all these hours of you listening to me ramble on, and I just can't wait to show you, actually. I really hope that you all like it, and I'd really love to hear what you think. So go away, watch it.
So our story starts today in the open ocean with this amazing creature called a zoea. Now this little zoea actually spends a lot of time transforming while it's in the open ocean into lots of different tiny forms until it forms its last and final sort of ocean form as it battles through the thing called a megaopolis. Now, when it's a megaopolis, it decides to leave the open ocean and heads to its new home, which today happens to be a rock pool off the coast of Scotland. Now, when it gets to that place, it transforms into something we might all be a little more familiar with, a common shore crab. Now, this tiny little crab creature will spend its life hiding in the sand. It will live amongst the other creatures on the shore, and it will spend its time trying to grow up. Now, because it's a crustacean, for a crab to grow up, it actually needs to shed its entire shell. A little privacy, please. Oh, sorry. But it will actually take quite a while to reach maturity because it can only grow 20 to 30% each time before it becomes the ultimate rock-pooling omnivore. Now, this rock-pooling omnivore will eat animals to algae all around. And it's at this particular point in the story where this particular crab met a very excited human. So as a kid, I loved going around and searching for the lives of crabs. I absolutely adored looking at their amazing faces. And the privilege and joy of getting to experience the life of an animal, even for a few minutes, changed my life. And I became a marine biologist and haven't shut up about the ocean since. But it was in rooms like this, in lecture theatres, through art, through video, through getting to meet amazing science communicators like yourself, that I realized the amazing power of not just experiencing science, but going ahead and sharing about it. And how quickly the beautiful life of this little crab can not just affect mine, but also can have that impact with so many other people that I've shared that joy with. So I couldn't help today but make a demo to celebrate not just the science, but the sharing of it, of theatres, of building community, of building trust in science. So I ask you all, as you carry on doing your amazing work, to never stop putting on a show for science. Thank you.
Okay, so I have my laptop up. Let's run through what I think about this performance. I cannot tell you how iconic it felt, like going out to do the demo. Like, walking out into that lecture theatre was just amazing. And one of the things I realised, which is not even a bad thing, but the table that I had it on, you can sort of see how high up it is on the that my puppeteering height was like, this just worked. Like, it just reached. I was like, oh no. I never even thought about the fact that, like, depending on the table height, it depends on whether I can actually reach the puppet. I was like, oh, I have to pack miniature steps with me, depending on what venue I'm in, is going to be crazy. So the one bit I'm realising is that maybe I didn't explain so well before was that part of the reason I planned to have my camera running it instead was because I had planned to perform with like my laptop, or I had my iPad with me, like at the back of the theatre, so that I could see what the audience was seeing. I had never practiced it, and this is something to clock for future. I'd never practiced it where I hadn't seen what I was doing. And so part of that was like, oh, the bit where I have to do all the changing of the nauplii, I realised how I envisioned seeing it was that it would be the same spot, and it's see-through tracing paper, so you could see the metamorphosizing as I put one behind the other, but I couldn't do that because I couldn't see. So that was part of it, which I think is why I also mess up my script there and just say thing. It happens. Like, I want this to be a good experience for people watching this that have got into like performing and stuff. You can just say and forget what you're saying and just say thing in this. I honestly don't think it affects the rest of the performance that much. Like, if that really bugs you that much, why? It's fine. Like, as long as it doesn't throw you, the performer, and you can carry on and just be like, said thing, I can't remember what I was supposed to say there, let's just carry on and do the rest of it. And I'm immediately just watching, like going back and seeing this, I'm immediately thinking of new ways to make this. And there is going to be a second video where there's a different version of this performance where I change a lot of stuff, and I also envisioning way more for future. And I just, watching this, knowing I would love changing camera angle, I would love the camera to be zoomed in at the start with the little baby, the baby crab, the nauplii, and zoom out at the same time as the sort of set change to the rock pool thing. Like, all of this is going through my head watching this, and I just think that is the sort of power of sitting through the cringe. Or at least I hope it is. So then we put the crab puppet in. I try and move the stuff. Like, some of the stuff I maybe just wasn't work so well, but this is the bit that the whole story started, with the idea that you would start in a theatre and you would break the fourth wall. I would hold the crab puppet and it would come out, and I would share about that moment, because we were in the RI and I knew that was a sort of momentous place to be. But the other part of that is that all of those spaces are sort of very special to me, because I love watching theatre, I love seeing stories. I think they're really special places for communities to come together. And so that was the start. That was the idea of the whole thing. The making of the theatre, the picking the crab as the prop, was the idea that as a kid I went and I've got pictures of like me as a kid like holding up a crab. Like, all of that was the important bit. But watching it back, a couple of things, you can see how bad that. I go and watch the puppet video, but I say there that 30 seconds before I go out, the actual puppet itself completely fell apart at the top, and so I am holding on and clinging on for dear life with that puppet thing. And then you don't really see yourself, like, how it will look that much, like, it without filming. And so as I'm holding this crab, because the puppet is falling apart, like, ideally in my head I sort of saw it being as this, like, you could see it, and I'm realizing that unless you are up close, you're not seeing the crab. You're seeing it, I suppose, like a crab, like an actual crab, but you're not seeing that sort of up close impact. Like, I'm trying to think. I suppose when I'm filming a lot of stuff, like I'm right up close to the camera so you can see things. And I think maybe I thought that you would see it a bit better. So I changed that. And I changed it in such a cool way that is absolutely staying in the next performance. Because I realise that, and the other thing with that is that helped with something else that I had a problem with, this new idea, and I'm sort of saving it slightly because it's really funny, and I want you to see it in real time. I stay too still. I want, even though I think because I'm giving quite a reflective talk, we've only got 3 minutes, I think that second half could have more energy. I feel like I could be moving around. I wanted people to interact with the puppet more. It's only 3 minutes, probably not within the scope of this. I do have a sort of expanded performance, got a bit longer in the next one, but I think it works far better how it is in the second one. So that all has been what I've picked up from watching this. And I thought I'd share because I go away and do this sort of thing whenever I do a performance and sit there like this watching and sort of making notes and sparking ideas. And I don't think there's ever been a performance where I've gone, yeah, that's how I'm going to do it forever. Every time I perform, I'm always thinking of how can I make it better, always doing tweaks to sort of certain stuff. And that's the bit that I love, and the bit that I think is just like really ticks my brain of just like, yes, how can we keep making these things even cooler? Drum roll on the laptop. Did I win? No. No, I didn't. I came third last year. I didn't place at all this year, which is absolutely fine because we just had knockout demo after knockout demo after knockout demo. Congrats to Peter Gallivan and Catherine Boast, who both won. There was a joint winner this year, an equal number of votes for them. I actually missed quite a bit of Peter Gallivan's like demo, but he did this cool thing where there was like, he made a glove out of this chemical stuff. The chemical stuff and that I missed because he was quite soon after my performance, so I was still sorting my stuff out. And Catherine Boast did this really cool like magnetic, imagine like a monorail air thing, which I was like, whoa, that was really awesome. And so I was just blown away by so many. There was just like countless awesome stuff. We had amazing stuff with like about space, and people were chucking balls across the room. We had a giant nose that was going around dressed up. We had a giant explosion of different like a massive explosion of all of these bouncy balls. What else was there? There was so many, like a UV painting that you can only see under like ultraviolet light, which was like a world first. There was just so many amazing demos, and how amazing is that? How amazing is that like a conference that I'm going to, that is what occurs at it. Like, I have found my people, right? Why is this video a bit shorter? Why is there maybe some other stuff in the future? So I feel very grateful, but I got the Royal Institution team got back in touch with me after the big demo competition, and they had what they call a demo day in autumn of every year, or the autumn of that year. And they said, we have this day where you come to the RI all day, it's not open, it's just a bunch of science communicators all there together, and we practice demos. You get to practice with us, with their really skilled team, you get to practice with your peers, you sort of all look at each other's work and give feedback, and then there's tickets in the evening, a public like advertised ticket stuff where people pay knowing that you're going to demonstrate something that you're working on, like an in progress thing because you'd been working on it that day, and they watch what is essentially like a demo competition, but just a demonstration show in the evening. And I couldn't be more over the moon. Of course I said yes. The RI is based in London, I'm based in Scotland. I had to be nearer London at the time. It all worked out perfectly. When I tell you that this day was something out of fantasy but is obviously science, it was like the most surreal experience. And I literally, without giving too much away, and I'll put in some teasing clips here so that you definitely have to watch out the next video, at one point there's like fire, nails, electricity, water, crab. Wait, I should do that. There was fire, water, electricity, nails, and then everything changed when the crab attacked. It was just the best day. So please subscribe, like, share, all that jazz, but make sure you check out the next video, because really it was just like one of the most phenomenal days of my entire life. And if you'd like to support me and my channel and help make many more crabs and things in the future and shows happen, then please go over to my Patreon to help support me. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the performance. Please let me know any more notes. That's a terrible thing to ask the internet, but I have. So I'll see you next time. Bye everyone.